How's it going, everyone? We're here to check out the top skins this week. And if you heard last week and didn't catch it on my Twitter, on my Discord, or the official Rust Discord in the skin section, I had told you that this was going to complete the sets week. Well, it's an update, so duh, of course it's going to be update themed. So complete the sets kind of thing is going to be next week, and maybe the following week, I don't know. Don't hold me to that. I haven't got a complete yes or no from Helk on that. I just know that next week will be picking from a complete the sets week. I've made this big mega list. I'll go ahead and connect those to this video as well. In the comment section, I'll pin it. That way it's not mixed in with all the other links. You can just kind of see it right there and then. And go through, if you see anything that you know you like, me and all my friends want this one, how come it's not on this list? Suggest it in the comments on the workshop link. And, if it's something that does seem to be very popular, I'll be sure to add it, because, I mean, there's lots of stuff I forget. So, anyways, guys, that's kind of what's going on with that. Let's get into this week. So, it's going to be boat-themed. We're getting the fishing villages, so everyone went and did some ocean-y stuff. And we've got this burlap set here by Johnny. It is the Sea Devil set, and this thing's really cool. Definitely some inspiration, I would say, from Davy Jones for sure. And I really, from the Pirates of the Caribbean series, the current one. So very, very cool. Love this. Look, there's an actual like stingray on the back and a net. It's really unique. I think this is one of the most unique clothing sets that I've seen for a little while, for sure. Speaking of unique, we've got some non-related burlap shoes, and I think these are coming in to try to rival the frog boots, because now we've got the fish wraps, and these things are just stupidly ridiculous. I could see these selling a ton if they got in the store, just for the fact of the memes. You gotta love it, and look how shiny it is. It's so great. It feels like it should go squish squash, which reminds me, I think the frog boots were supposed to one day. Never happened. Next, we've got some hoodie and pants action for you with the Kayak outfit and hoodie by Bad Trip. So this is so you can safely go on your little kayaking trip. It looks like a nice warm outfit that possibly has some insulation going on. I would say this is, yeah, it kind of does look like it's made out of that like neoprene or something. Or whatever they make us. I can't talk today, guys. Whatever they make, water gear out of. And then we've got the life vest. You got a little logo here, a little guy on a kayak. And looks like he's wearing the classic Rust hoodie and face mask, which is kind of cool. So, yeah, definitely a nice little set. Of course, nothing's complete without a little bit of duct tape on it, because, it's Rust. Well, howdy, sailors. That's what's coming up next here. We've got the sailor set, and this thing's got a couple of fish on it, an anchor, and then the whole pattern kind of, I don't know if it's just meant to kind of create effect or if this is supposed to be birds. To me, it looks like a ton of, birds. When people draw kind of like a in the distance stick figure bird kind of thing. I don't know. Maybe it's supposed to be fish scales on the sailor outfit. I don't know. One way or another, it does have that kind of like little effect to it. You've, of course, got your little tiny ascot right there. And then you've got these kind of things. It kind of looks like a weird stretched out basketball hoop. But I think it's supposed to be like a fishing net basket kind of thing. I'm not entirely sure. You can see the same thing over here. And then on the actual Riot helmet itself with some fish and stuff. Now, there is a weird... I don't know if it's kind of like the texturing they did, but there's something a little bit weird about this part of the helmet. You can kind of see it's kind of glitching a little weird. I don't know what exactly might be causing that. But, maybe they'll recognize it right away when they're looking at it. Last up, for the clothing and armor, we've got a high-qual set for you, and this one really sends it home. The detail to this is just absolutely amazing. LaCrempe did an amazing job at this kayak set. It's made to look like a life vest over a metal chest piece. It just looks so good. The straps, and it looks like if you poked it, it would be squishy and filled with kind of air. You know what I mean? You'd feel the cushion underneath. And it's just really, really well done with the details. back here, you can see the straps and everything. I mean, it just looks so nice. And then look at the top of it here. It actually looks like a little boating, like a river rafting helmet. And yeah, some people wear these for like cave kayaking and stuff like that as well. And I think the artist said they're going to make a riot helmet version, but so far they haven't. So if they do, I'll add that to the list. But honestly, I think the metal face mask looks better. And usually Hulk doesn't like accepting riot helmets with metal chest pieces. He'd rather have a face mask. So honestly, I think this is pretty cool. It's definitely something very unique. Alright, so with these kinds of updates where like a monument is added, it's usually pretty, it's a lot on the easier side to make kind of like a deployable with a theme. And so we've got a lot of deployables, I think over 15 or so for you. So we're going to start over here with the sleeping bags. And of course, a life preserver of some sort would make sense, right? So we've got the Life Jacket Sleeping Bag by Cosm. And as you can see here, it's adult universal size. You've got the little pull string and everything. And honestly, it doesn't look too bad to sleep in. I mean, I feel like if water got in there, it'd be really uncomfortable. Like, it would be kind of plasticky, but if it was dry, I feel like this wouldn't be too bad of a comfy spot to sleep, you know? Then over here, we've got something on the opposite spectrum. We've got this crazy rainbow fishy. This is the Big Fish sleeping bag by Odyssey, and it is all rainbow and bright, and this isn't going to be the best sleeping bag for you to hide, but hey, you know, inside or whatever, or if you just don't care, there you go. The cool thing is it looks like it is eating this like purple treat, which is the pillow, which has the hook on it. There's a nice little detail I noticed added to this. Over here we've got a couple boxes, starting with this small box. This is the Fresh Catch box by Fi, and you can see it says Fresh Fish. Over here we've got some kind of like oceany waves with two little stars. And on top you've got the fish bones with the same little waves and star design to go along with it. Over here we've got two large boxes for you, starting with the Unsinkable Companion box. This one takes pretty much all of its themes from the actual town that is being added in. Has the same mesh nets, and you've got that tarp all around it, and then you can see the edges here are like the water jugs. You can see the different little symbols on the side here. There's a motor and a fishing chair, and you know, kind of looks like a raft, like the rib. And then the last one, actually, I'm not too sure what that last one is. Looks kind of odd. Could just be my eyes. Over here, you've got like a little fish with an oar on it, I guess. Over here, we got a boot, and it looks like, is that like the handle of a fishing rod? And then we got bobber and a hook, and then you got the oar on the front and the back, and on the top of it here you got a little rope and a nice little kind of like nautical symbol, and there's little moss kind of growing all over it. So definitely lots of detail put into this one. Quite a nice box. Then over here we've got a cooler for you, and it's spelled cool with a K because, you know, copyright infringement, I guess. I don't know. I wonder if anyone owns Cool. I don't think so. But we've got all sorts of little limpets and barnacles all over the sides of it, and a little fishy on the side here, and altogether, yeah, it's just, you know, basically a cooler, and definitely gets that effect there. The top corners look a little too sharp for a cooler, though, and I wonder if there's a way to maybe round it a bit, because most coolers, you know, are round, because you don't want, like, corners on something like that. I don't know, or maybe that's just how they are in America, I'm not sure, but that's my one criticism there. Moving on to doors, we've got the Boat Rental wooden door over here by Debski. Of course, the cool thing with wooden doors is they have two sides. So this side, you can see it has like some leaky tar, and you've got all the old kind of screws that have been put through, and it's just kind of old and beat up. You know, it goes with a nice little theme of it right on the front there. Then we've got this cool little door over here. Again, you can see that green net from the new fishing village. This is, of course, the fishing village door by Kayak. You've got the anchor, and then you open it back here. You've got a little anglerfish drawn on, and a life ring, as well as an oar or paddle, whatever you end up wanting to call it there. Definitely a cool little wooden door. Then we've got two wooden ones for you, starting with this one here. It looks like it used to say shop, but now it says home, as the S is crossed out, and of course that life preserver can be the O. This is the raft wooden double door. Now there is something I noticed, if you get really close to it, it gets really blurry. So something might be off the spec maps. I'm not entirely sure what's going on there, but I know the artist will fix that before it comes around. So kind of ignore that for the time being and look at the overall, details to it. Definitely quite cool from that end. And then, of course, every double door, well, wooden or armored, I should say, has a double side. So definitely cool there. Again, you can see the blurriness kind of affecting it. Again, I'm sure they'll fix that. Then we've got this one over here, which is the Sea Adventure door by Jin. Got a couple of paddles, life preserver against some nets, excuse me, an anchor and a paddle board. And then back here, the net kind of flops over, and you've got some little pictures of, looks like a beloved boat and a lighthouse. And, Rust Lighthouse, I would say. Looks very much so like it. And, of course, you got your, little nautical details, which are cool. Definitely some nice doors this week. Moving on, we've got some metal doors for you. Again, this one is themed very much so off of the new Kayak coming in. This is the raft door version 2. And you by Positive, and you can see there's all little scrappy pieces and all the same kind of looking stuff from the new Kayak that's coming in, including, look, there's the little like metal piece that goes on one end of the oar. Lots of nice little detail put into that. Over here, we've got a friendly face. There is the single boat storage door. Well, now we've got the double boat storage door. This one kind of seems like a no-brainer, as the other one sold quite well, and everyone seems to use it quite often, because, well, honestly, I see on servers a lot still. So, definitely a nice, smart move there. Moving on, we've got some garage doors for you, and let's see. Let's actually brighten this up a little bit. There we go, much better. So over here, we've got a nice illustration for you. This is the Sunset Joy Ride by Taylor. And you can see the little Hazzy guy in a nice kayak with his little paddle, paddling away from Lighthouse. He's kind of like looking up. He looks so happy in the name of the Joy Ride. It just, I feel like there's probably a rib looming in the distance. Poor guy. One way or another, definitely an awesome garage door. Looks really cool. Next, we've got something to go along with the kind of lore of Rust, so to say. We've got boat rentals, live bait and tackle from the Happis Island Fishery. A cobalt industry, always fresh and never frozen. I don't know how I feel about that. Some of that tuna's been sitting in those boxes for a while. But one way or another, you can see the fishing rod with the little fish jumping up. And this beautiful view from Happis looking over the procedural Rust Island in the background. It's really nice. You're sitting at the fishery, and off in the distance is the adventure of the procedural land that we all crave. And maybe one day Rust will actually be like that, where we can travel from island to island, because remember, that's still an end goal for this game. So, very, very cool here. Next, we've got something on the wacky and awesome colorful side. This is the Companion Duck Garage Door by Milo. And you can see there's Mr. Companion Duck, who's been featured in some of his other works. And you've got a beautiful anchor and bright colors and sea stars and octopus tentacles. I mean, it pretty much just describes itself. It's bright and colorful and just grabs attention. Next, we've got something that pulls a little bit from the boat shop as well, but has its own kind of unique color. Little Ranger's Lobster Door here, or Marine Garage Door, I should say. And it has the lobster symbol from the new town. But it's been covered up with like a net, and we've got these purples and everything. It has like a really nice kind of chill industrial vibe to it, and I think it's a really nice door for that fact. Definitely quite cool. All right, and let's jump into that last part of the videos, into the tools and weapons, starting with this frozen fishy hammer. Frozen. You gotta love those moments. I'm a goofy guy, guys, so that's why I leave some of it in. Of course, I do edit out some of my horrible mumbles and fumbles, but I'd like to show I'm still human on the side there, and just, I'm another one of the guys here. So, very cool little hammer here. This poor goldfish has been frozen. He almost escaped, it looks like, and I don't think he's the only one in there, but, definitely fits with some of those fishing villages that I've been getting in the frozen zone. A nice little icy hammer to remind you about how cold it is over there. Next, we've got something that is quite cool. This little hammer has a bunch of fish wedged right into it, and it even looks like some of their tails are sticking out. It is really hard to work with some of these flat areas on a lot of these objects, because you can't go out of the area on it. You can't, add a fishtail hanging off. That's just not a thing. So you got to work with the flat area, and I think this was done really well without looking overly textured. And definitely think the Sea Flock hammer by Zimic is quite cool. Next, we've got a combat knife for you. This guy looks like a steel fish bone and is called the Pirate Knife, made by Red Rex. And man, this thing just looks mean. I like the little teeth at the front of it, and it's definitely quite modern piratey almost, but it just, man, it looks mean. Definitely looks like it would hurt. Next, we've got a bow for you. This one, of course, has a nice little nautical theme to it. You got an anchor, life preserver there. Aiming down the sights, you've got a few other different little colors, some nice rope, rusty nail, a few other things like that. Kind of looks, honestly, like it is made from pieces of driftwood. It is the Hunting Bow Shipwreck by White. Definitely a cool bow for sure. Next, we've got an Ioka for you. This one is very cool and piratey. And of course, therefore is named the Pirate Ioka by UAD. And it's got this, I don't know what to call that, some kind of like demon pirate thing on the side there. It's crazy creature, skull, half top of a skull. Then you've got the, Iron Cross there and, Crusader symbol maybe. The whole thing is just very cool. Quite a nice Ioka. Next, we've got a SAR. This one is made to look like it's made up of all the different makeshift pieces, and this is why it's called the Washed Ashore. FaZe did a really good job in my opinion. I like how the mag looks like it's actually made from like a water jug. Then you've got all the pieces of kind of like driftwood and the plastics you find. You kind of really see that when you aim down the sights here. I really love the detail to it, and it's definitely a very nice rusty gun. Go ahead and pop a reload on it. There you go. Next, we've got a couple AKs for you, starting out with this awesome little AK right here. This is a continuation in the Beach Day set from Eben with the Beach Day AK. Aiming down the sights, it's all kind of like rusted and beat up, but this thing has seen some time and day, but they still took the time to paint it, make it theirs. It's got the little beach ball, and then over here you've got a guy having a problem with a shark that seems to have figured out how to use his fins to push himself up a little closer into that boat. And a beautiful rust sunset on the other side. Definitely quite fun. When you pop this right there, you're actually putting a treasure chest and a fish on one side. It's got all these cool little details. Definitely a cool AK for sure. Moving on, we've got something a little more inspired by the raft, literally, and it's made by like little mini pieces. And I think that's maybe the one thing that might hurt it, is the tiny jugs look a little awkward. Maybe if they were made to look more kind of like the fishing bobbers at the front there. But one or another, I think it's a really cool idea, so I wanted to throw it in there. There is a weird blurriness when aiming down here, a little more so than usual, because all the guns kind of have a weird blurry, ADS, but for some reason the life preserver there is a little extra blurry. Hopefully that's something that can be looked into by the artist. I'm sure it's an easy fix as usual. Pop a reload, and there we have it. Next, we've got another AK for you. This is more on the artistic side. We've got a anglerfish on the Fishy Business AK by Moonfighter. And looks like he's eating a bunch of small fish, and his little friends don't seem to mind and keep swimming. But I guess that's how it goes. One thing I do like is the scales are really pronounced and kind of stick up, so it doesn't just look like a flat painting. Same thing with like the outlines of the fish themselves. Aiming down the sights, you've got a little anchor and a chrome sight with a black marker. Nice little wood up front on the grip. Go ahead and pop that, and there you have it. Lastly, we've got an LR for you. This thing is a Marine Tactical digital camo look. It is, of course, then called the Marine LR. So as you can see, it's got this blue digital camo thing going on. It's very clean and nice looking. Aiming down the sights, it's got a white sight with kind of a beat up, I don't know, kind of like partially painted sight around it. Big white ring. There's some battle damage on it as well. Nice little kind of like rubber grip. Some nice details put into this one. Could definitely see this LR doing quite well. But that's going to do it, guys. So go ahead and sound off down in the comment section below which ones you would like to see the most and why. Any kind of feedback you want to try to give, I'll try to get to the right people as always. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on Thursday.